Good afternoon. Excuse me. Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, June 12, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call and all the rest Friday, June 13, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a continuation from the TFCC call. Whenever we do not allow ourselves to trust the process of life, we tend to cling to it all along the way. And we all have heard the words stress and worry and anxiety and fear. And what it is the mind attempting to not create what it does not want by obsessing about what it doesn't have or want. The unconscious spin cycle is exactly how we manifest more of what we do not want, and is one of the greatest ways to drain our manifesting vibration. If you always think about what you do not want to happen, how much energy is left to focus on what you do want? You know, it's amazing because you don't realize it. It's not like we intentionally do it, right? It's not like we say, "Oh, I'm going to focus on all my energies on what I do not want." It's just a habit we have as a species, a civilization. It's how we've been programmed, trained, influenced throughout our lives. And so it's like a knee-jerk reaction, right? Something occurs, or we get a thought that comes in, and then we look at the thought and we say, "Oh, geez, I hope this." You say you don't want this to happen, right? I've been in conversations, I've shared this before with people, that are literally in a conversation, right? Just a regular conversation, nothing heavy duty. And I've counted up to 100 times in that conversation where they said they did not want something. They didn't want this to happen. They want that to happen. They don't know what would happen if they didn't want, this, and so on and so forth. Sometimes I will say, "Do you know how many times you said you don't want?" And we're not aware of it. We have no idea. I said, "No, I have no idea." I said, "Well, you did it over 100 times. And that was in a course of 30 minutes. Now, what happens, right? People say, "Well, you get what you want and what you don't want anyway." Not in that context. When you put forth your energy and you focus on what you want, you do it in meditation. And you don't have a whole truckload of wants. You have one detailed, specified want that you want to send to the universe. It's very, you've thought it out. It's every single line is drawn. It's like a blueprint. So it's not half-ass, and it's very detailed and very complete. And so in meditation, what you do is you leave the ego mind alone. You step away from it. And you relax into your body, because it's the only way we'll ever relax is by relaxing into the body. You're still as a statue, and you focus on your breath rising and falling. You're in silence. That's where the God is. In silence. Total peace. You decided to leave the ego mind alone. Nobody else did for you. You said, I will leave my ego mind alone. I'm going to go in meditation. And if the ego mind has a tendency to try to pull you out of that and back into its realm, you just automatically will focus on the now. The moment to moment. That's where we manifest. We don't, every now and then when you're in ego mind, you'll manifest something that's pretty much the norm. But for the most part, you don't. You get frustrated, you get disappointed, you get upset, and you suffer. And in the heart mind, that doesn't exist. So this is how we learn, okay, to master the ego mind by leaving it alone and being in the heart mind. Because in heart-mindedness, we can watch the ego mind without judgment and see how it operates. And it'll show you exactly how it operates. And then you can clarify with yourself through your own self-awareness is that, okay, so now I know how the ego mind operates with me, right, my ego mind. I know how it interjects thoughts all the time, tricks me into believing they're my thoughts, so I give those thoughts energy. I bring them into my reality, and then I experience them. We all do it. None of us are exempt from it. But it's really phenomenal when you finally discover and you realize that you are the master and commander. The ego mind has just fooled you into believing that it is the master and commander. So you got used to following the ego mind, say, and you really didn't think about it. You just, ego mind, we protect ourselves. I put a vision up when I see a bunch of people on a sunny day, the sun's at a certain angle in the sky, and everybody has a shadow, and they're all trying to protect their shadows. It's no different than trying to protect your ego. Can you just picture that? You get a big laugh out of it. So in meditation, we leave the ego mind out of it. So it doesn't interfere. And so we're focused. We have 100% confidence, trust, and faith in ourselves and the universe, and then we send it out. And we have no doubt about it. We send it out, we know it'll manifest, and we leave it alone. We let it go, we surrender. And it's like when you get something, say you're going to have a lot of money. You have a lot of money, and there it is. It's not hearsay anymore, it's money. You have the money, you're wealthy, first time ever in this lifetime, right? That's great, that's phenomenal. Now, the flip side is managing, taking care of it, knowing what to do, decision-making, where to send it, who to help, all of those things. That's the I don't want part, okay? It's a yin and a yang. It's a balance. It's always a balance. And so, but then you look at those parts and say, those are cool. That'll teach you. It teaches me. So I'm not familiar with this end of it, but just like anything else, I'll learn it. It's a matter of fact. You'll learn it. You don't get paranoid and over-responsive. You just kind of float. And when I say float, picture yourself in a large body of water, okay? Normally, everybody is swimming to beat the band. I mean, splashing water, going crazy, trying to get somewhere. And you're just floating. You're not concerned about where you're going. You're just floating. That's life. That's how you can look at life and say, I'm just floating. The rest will take care of itself. And then you have the doom and gloomers. They'll say, "Oh, that's irresponsible. You won't get anywhere that way. You want to make a bet?" Imagine if we all just floated in life. Not that we were dingy. Quite the opposite. We just have the confidence, faith, and trust in ourselves and the universe that it is in perfect divine order in every single moment. Perfect divine order in every single moment. See, we've been taught that we have to do what? We've been taught that we have to climb the ladder, that we have to get this, go out here, do this, go out here, do that, do this, do that, do this, in order to go here and be here, wherever here is for you. Instead of saying that I am the master and commander, I can manifest anything I choose, and it's in my direction is through heart-mindedness, not ego mind. Ego mind is when you get fouled up. So you turn around and you say to yourself, why would I spend my energy on ego mind? Not that it's a negative. It's not a negative because it teaches us a heck of a lot. But does it have to be there forever? No, it's a teacher for a period of time. Some of us will have it for lifetimes. Others of us will become aware enough that we invite it in. It begins to comprehend the fact that it is not in charge, that you are. And you invite it in more and more until it starts to get comfortable. And what's the comfort? It begins to realize that it has found peace. And that's all it's ever looked for is peace. But it always looks for peace outside. It doesn't realize that it is part of the God. And this is how we move through life. We don't fight it. See, when you're swimming, you're fighting it. You really are. You're fighting life. Most people on this planet fight life. It's not like I'm going to go fight life. They just do it. They aren't aware of it. They fight life on every front and every angle. And life is God, God is life. So someone might say, so you mean I'm fighting God? In a way, you're fighting God. You're fighting who and what you are, truly. It's like, no, I don't care. Some people, I don't care to go there. Why not? Well, I'm afraid of what I might find. You're afraid of what you might find. What do you believe that you would find? A dark part of you? You should embrace all parts of you, the dark and the light. You'd be amazed what happens. So, we get in to a what we don't want energy. Across the board. Comes in every now and then. Some of us are beginning to pick up and saying to ourselves, why would I fight life? Why don't I just flow with life? Why don't I just float with it? Life is God. God is life. I am perfect. I am divine perfection. The God that I am in this body. I am here to enjoy this life, create my life as I go. Doesn't that make sense? You create your life as you go along. Now with awareness, clarity, you look at that and you know that there are challenges too. You know that the ego mind's there, okay? And you learn how to master it. Same with your thoughts. You learn how to master those. It would be really boring for all of us if we didn't have those to master. We would really be bored to tears after a while. You think not. Well, if I didn't have this, it'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great for a while. And then it would get really boring. So what we do is we become aware enough where instead of being the slave, we become the master. And the reason I say in heart-mindedness is because of what? Heart-mindedness is deep eternal love. It's where the God is that we are. It's the peace, the silence, the bliss, joy, and happiness. That's 24/7. It's not something that we experience for a period of time and then it dissipates and it's gone. This is what we are. We're made up of deep eternal love, bliss, joy, happiness, all of it rolled up into one ball of light. Very high frequency. There's no frequency higher. So we enter these bodies with amnesia, and we go through life figuring it out. That's what we do. And we do the best we can because most on this planet, in this lifetime, don't discover who and what they are. Now, some people, they'll say, oh, I know I'm the God in the body. Well, that's great. That's great. Okay. How you doing with your ego mind? And if they're truthful with themselves, it's, well, ego mind is really slippery and tricky, boy, I'll tell you. It really is. Next thing you know, you're an ego mind. One moment you're not, the next moment you are. Whenever you feel that you need to protect yourself from people's words, right, what they say, what they do, that type of thing, you're an ego mind. You'll know that. See, that's like an alarm. You're an ego mind because you feel you have to protect yourself. If someone casts aspersions at you, right, or they make a negative something disrespectful, your response is to protect yourself. Usually it might be through anger, agitation, or rebuttal. But that's ego mind. If you're not an ego mind, you're in heart-mindedness, what happens if they do that? It has no effect. It just dissipates. It disperses. Now, I've been in situations through the years where, somebody, they're having issues, and you're sitting somewhere, right? And they want to pick an argument with you. You can feel it, okay? And for some reason, they want to pick an argument with you. Now, it's a good test to see whether you're ego-minded or heart-minded. Ego-minded, you're going to get an argument with them. You will. Heart-minded, they'll get frustrated because you won't answer or have an answer for them. Do you know what I mean? Because someone looking for conflict, you pick up on it right away. If you're trained in certain areas, you pick up on it right away. See, there's no conflict. There's a reason to conflict. Your ego mind, you would conflict with them. But in heart-mindedness, you just don't bother to engage. And then the words and all the blasphemies come and everything, but it doesn't affect you. You're not being pompous. You're not being disrespectful. You just know that I don't care to put my energy in that direction. I've been there before. I don't care to do it again. And these are things that in this life we are presented with certain challenges to see how we do it to ourselves, to see how we'll respond. You see, this is like an unconscious spin cycle. It's exactly how we manifest more of what we do not want, and is one of the greatest ways to drain our manifesting vibration. And I think most of us notice that our minds can become fixated on certain thought patterns and get wrapped around one little idea about what it doesn't want to occur. It unconsciously creates this repetitive mini futuristic fear that we often refer to as worrying. The mind tends to obsess, dwell, and get hooked into whatever it thinks it has to have to be happy, loved, free, important, rich, etc. It especially becomes wrapped around those things it believes it cannot have. So if your mind naturally is an obsessaholic, why not fixate it on feeling what it's like to manifest your dream life? You're the director. It isn't someone else doing it. You're doing it. All of us are. You're the director. The truth is that clinging to anything in this life just perpetuates the manifestation of more stagnation and causes a deeper anxiety to take root inside you. And the only way out is to let go and trust the divine intelligence within life. And once you do, you'll be free to feel everything that arises from a place of non-attachment and instantly shift your vibration to being completely worry-free. It's only when we attach, see? It's only when we get expectations or attach ourselves. Do we worry and do we stress? And do we get disappointed? Well, if it doesn't happen, you're disappointed. You suffer. Something you've been counting on for ages, right? You can almost taste it. But you're fixated. You're attached. You have expectations to the outcomes of it. And it doesn't happen, and you get disappointed, you get irritated, let down. That's suffering. We can easily create anything we want in this life with trust. And when we deeply trust that all of our desires will manifest at the perfect time, they simply do. And everything, timing is everything for the soul. When you let go of your ego's agenda, you realize there was nothing to be stressed about in the first place. Everything is always taken care of in your life. The soul has a much bigger plan. All that it takes is going within and allowing this universe to support you and making your every desire blossom into reality. And the more any of us go inside and access this infinite divine consciousness that we truly are, the easier it is to naturally live from a state of trust. And as we continue to explore our divine nature and dive deeper into the truth of who and what we truly are, we will start to feel greater waves of trust wash over and through us. It is impossible for us to worry when we remember that we are an infinite, timeless being, because you know that nothing outside of you can hurt or impact you negatively. Trust is inherently a natural part of all of us. We were born to trust. As a baby, that is all we knew how to do. Trust. You didn't know doubt or worry, did you? No, none of us did. And the most primal parts of our self always trusted what was happening and knew that everything was perfect. It was only when our ego mind started claiming the kingdom that you started falling prey to the illusions of worry, stress, and fear. Right now, this very moment in your life, what is the thing that you spend the most time stressing, worrying, fearing about? Decide right now to shift from that, right, worrying about this issue, to completely trusting. Each time you find yourself worrying about this particular issue, simply notice where this experience is occurring. It's between your ears. And relax. Notice how perfect the present moment is and how there is really nothing to worry, stress, fear about. Be aware of this worry habit, yet don't buy into it. It's one of the most overlooked destructive habits that leak our precious energy away from enjoying life and living out our mission. You know, what causes it to happen in the first place? Well, it is that the mind simply lacks mental discipline, intention, and focus. Imagine that the worry, stress, fear mindset is like a herd of wild, untrained horses running out of control in a small, tight corral. the more undisciplined these horses are, the more frustrated they become in the corral. Problem here is not that these crazy horses are galloping everywhere out of fear. The real issue is that you choose to follow them. When the reins on the minds are too tight or too loose, this herd will not listen and trample all over you. They'll stomp all over your feelings, your desires, relationships, leave your life dreams far behind in the dust. And the only way is to lasso the entire herd, teach them to become more conscious, and the golden key to consciousness is trust. If you've been wrestling with your inner herd for years, you may feel defeated and have become a what? There's a lot of people like worry zombies. It's like you're talking and they bring up things that they're concerned about this, they're stressed about that, they're worried about this. This is someone who is numb to lighter thoughts, abundant consciousness, and outrageous pleasure. Now, if this sounds at all like you, it's time to take that first step out of this kind of zombie zone, lasso the herd stallion, grab onto the reins, steer your herd back into the pleasure pasture so that they can relax into the positive feelings and thoughts that make your heart sing. And when your horses drink one gulp from the river of bliss and gallop through fields of gold, you'll win their respect and be free from your inner worry corral forever. The bottom line is trusting yourself and mastering the ego mind. The ego mind is the corral full of horses. Okay? It's like stop the ego mind. That's why you'll hear me say, ego mind, you can say stop, ego mind, stop, you're not in charge. Picture this huge neon stop sign that goes up in a blink of the eye in front of the ego mind. You know, it takes visualizing, it takes confirmation of oneself. Is it a battle? Not really a battle. It is a comprehension. It's a realization, clarity, awareness of ourselves from within. And this is our journey. See, it's part of our journey to discover or rediscover, however you look at it, about who and what we are in these bodies. That we're not the body. We were never the body, and we will never ever be the body. We are the God within the body. We are the pure consciousness. We are the collective consciousness throughout all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Beyond this holographic generated universe, onto all the metaverses, billions upon billions and trillions of universes that never end. You have some universes that go away. You have other universes that appear. 10 universes disappear, they end. 10 universes take their place, or maybe 20. It is a constant expansion. It isn't a shrinking. It's a discipline of pure consciousness. That's what all of it is. A discipline of pure consciousness. We create it all. People say, well, who creates AI? We do. We don't. You see, so many of us have been so trained and, kind of smothered with untruths that we just aren't aware of it. We just aren't aware that we are omnipotently powerful, supreme, abundant, manifesting beings that never die. And it's a focus of not just being in the now, but staying in the now. You can be in the now, but 5-10 seconds, and then next thing you know, you're in ego mind, yesterday and tomorrow. And when you're totally honest with yourself and you're having communication with yourself, there's nothing else around, just you and you. And you say to yourself, what I care to do is focus my energies, number one, on what I want, okay? And also focusing on the fact that there is a flip side to what you want, which comes to responsibility, and it's all learning. It's experiencing and learning. So you focus your energies, and you get, at first you slip, we all slip into the ego mind, but after a while, you're able to identify things, and you know how to maneuver. It's just automatic. You go, I'm not going into ego mind. That thought will take me into ego mind. If I embrace that thought, and I respond to that thought, I'll go into ego mind. Do I care to go into ego mind? No, I don't care to go into ego mind. I care to go into heart-mindedness. It may sound strange to some people to do this, but you're the orchestrator. You're the conductor. Nobody else is. You are. So it's your life. So you determine how it's designed. You're the architect. How do you want to build it? How do you want it to be? What are the things you want to include in your life? And you could do that now. I don't care if you're 90 years old. Doesn't make any difference. You determine the life you want. You don't settle. And we're also taught to settle. Settle. Take what you can get. You don't settle. I mean, goodness gracious, you're a God in the body, pure consciousness. You're plugged into all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, forever. And so you're in a learning curve or experience with a physical material form that you chose to enter. And yes, there's a lot of things, right? Taste and smell, touch, and all these things, feel. We don't have that, as I've said before. None of us have that when we're in our true form, ball of light. We don't have any of that stuff. You can see where we get, basically seduced in physical material form. We say we're going to do all these things, and then on our way in, we get zapped, and we lose our memory. So, we end up in a physical material body. We're born, usually the baby comes out. There we are. We usually enter the baby through utero. Okay? And there we are. What are we doing here? Some of us still have kind of residual, and we go, oh, look at this, I have hands again. You ever notice babies look at their hands, and they stare at full-grown bodies, people? They're like, wow, look at all this. Others will say, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not here again, am I? Yeah, I'm not kidding you. That happens. Oh, no, not again. Of course, that wanes in a very short period of time. But, well, you know what? What else would we do? Really? Here we are, pure consciousness, divine perfection. And all we do is create. We manifest, we create, we manifest, we experience. That's what we do. We come to this planet to first comprehend who and what we are with ourselves and forgive every avenue that we can possibly review with ourselves, and then love deeply and eternally ourselves. And then help everybody else. So, love yourself and help others. Now, is that difficult? Not really, but there's a lot of sifting that we choose to or we don't. We might choose. Some people choose to in this lifetime. Others don't. They'll wait another 5, 6 lifetimes. But that's their prerogative. It's, like I said, it's not a race. None of us are in a race. This is a never-ending journey. We learn. We experience. And one might say, well, okay, so we're divine perfection. So what's the purpose? We acquire different levels of divine perfection. That's it. It's what we do. Ecstasy is our very nature. Believe it or not, ecstasy is our very nature. Not to be ecstatic is simply unnecessary. To be ecstatic is natural, spontaneous. It needs no effort to be ecstatic. It needs great effort to be miserable. That's why you look so tired, because misery is really hard work. To maintain it is really difficult because you're doing something against nature. Osho. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain relaxed into your body, focused on your breath, rising and falling, and still as a statue. We're moving in this country, and a lot of people believe we're moving, in a negative direction, but we really aren't. The surface is very deceptive. From survival to sovereignty is what's happening in America, with many people, all walks of life, and it's also moving us. We're moving collectively. We're beginning to live outside the matrix of fear-based wealth and discover deep inside is the truth that we really are a divine God being in a spiritual body on earth. So if you want real feelings of financial safety, security, and freedom, it would break it down. How to manifest this. Circulation. All right? Circulation is my currency. This flips the survival-based money paradigm in the old paradigm. Okay? Currency equals something you collect, store, protect, count, and worry about losing. In this paradigm, currency equals how you circulate energy, time, money, love, attention, creativity in a way that keeps the river flowing. Circulation is what keeps abundance alive. When you hold your money in tight fists, nothing can get out, but also nothing can come in. Stagnation is poverty. Flow is wealth. So when you spend joyfully, invest consciously, give generously, or create fearlessly, you're circulating your energy. That act itself becomes the currency, and it always returns. Not always dollar for dollar, but always value for value. You're not aligned with nature's law of flow, not man's law of accumulation. God is my vault. What's a vault? We have an idea what a vault is, right? A place where you store your most precious assets, your treasures, your safety, your emergency fund, your backup plan. But God is infinite, eternal, loving, always resourced. So when you say God is my vault, you're saying my true security doesn't lie in any number, any savings account, or any physical asset. My real treasure is in the hands of the infinite, and that vault can never be robbed, hacked, taxed, or inflated. It's a radical act of sovereignty and surrender. It means you do not need to stockpile from fear. You trust that the moment you need something, your divine vault will release it. Trust is my investment. Here's where it gets potent. This world teaches us to invest in markets, stocks, property, coins, IRAs. But you know better. The real investment is spiritual. Every time you choose trust over fear, you are investing energy into a timeline of abundance. Trust is what makes the wealth stick without controlling it. Trust is what lets you follow intuition instead of anxiety. Trust is what opens the door to spontaneous miracles. So instead of just watching charts and economic forecasts, you say, I'm investing my faith, my trust, my vibration into this reality, and I know the return will be divine timing, divine support, and divine wealth. This becomes your portfolio of peace. And abundance is who you are. Abundance is who I am. This is the deep remembrance. Not something you get, not something you attract, not something you earn. You already are it. You are the field. You are the source. You are the infinite sun. The river doesn't seek water. It is water. You do not seek abundance. You are abundance. So the work becomes about removing the blocks to knowing that, undoing the conditioning, releasing the scarcity codes, letting go of needing proof before believing the truth. Let's put it all together. God is my vault. I have nothing to fear. My wealth is eternally stored in source. Trust is my investment. I let go. I move from faith. I follow what feels true. Circulation is my currency. I give, I spend, I create. I keep the river of life flowing. Abundance is who I am. I no longer seek what I already am. I live it now. Close your eyes. Fall in love. Stay there. Rumi. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Friday, June 13, 2025. After 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. And after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.